Hello everyone, and welcome to another Nighthawk Racing track dive, this time around high speed ring. As the name suggests, this is probably one of the fastest tracks out on the game, and there's not really a lot of secrets to it, apart from a few tips that I'll be giving you across this video. So, turn 1 is pretty simple, just keep a high line, and then as soon as you see, you can also have those rubber marks there onto my left that kind of suggests the racing line as well, so you can always use that as a reference. I like to take a high line at the entry and then cut across towards the apex, stay in the low line, and then go back up on the exit. But it's obviously all done flat out, and you're going to reach this first braking zone probably at the highest speed on the entirety of this track. I brake at around the 50-meter board. You can brake just a little bit before, just for comfort. You don't need to brake too much earlier than that. And then just be careful when applying the brakes, because if you apply them in a very abrupt way in the high input, there's a chance that the car will likely, you lose control of the car on the rear. It's pretty easy to do that. And the tip for you guys here, for you guys and girls on this corner specifically, when in dry conditions, you'd ideally like to take the high line. Obviously want to stay as close to this barrier on the right hand side without actually touching it. Obviously no wall riding is allowed. There are penalties incurred by the stewards for it, and you can get damage, so even then there's not a lot that you can gain from this. However, in wet conditions it is advisable that you take the lower line, and it's also deemed as the part of the racing line where it starts to dry out when it's transitioning from wet to dry conditions. So yeah, I'd recommend you low line for this one in wet conditions, high line for dry conditions. Then we head on to the infield section, turns 3 and 4. So I like to brake around this bit of green asphalt rises, maybe closer to the 50-meter board. You also have this colored barrier onto the left-hand side that you can also use as a reference. So it really depends on how you want to take it. I like to take a little bit more momentum and get a wider line on entry, and then get as close to this curve on the inside as possible. You'll be around like third gear, I'd say, for most of this. Maybe go to second just to get a little bit more rotation, but then quickly upshift to third. And the same with this one. You want to stay as far to the right as possible on the entry. And then once you kind of get close to the middle point of this corner, which should be around here, you're going to ideally want to go full throttle. Just be careful, because if you go full throttle too early, you can hit this barrier here and get damage, and obviously lose time as well. Then heading towards the last corner, I take this bit of curve here on the inside, position the car like this, and then in here I'd also recommend to be careful, because you want to take a high line, but if you're not cautious enough, the car might reach this bit of a curve here, like cobblestone on the inside, and you can get stuck to it and then just go across this entire section, losing lots of time, possibly collecting damage along the way, and you'll be just hitting this barrier here, which is not ideal. And especially when you are on hard tires and similar, which don't have the same levels of grip as, let's say, the soft tires, it can be quite a problem to try and position your car correctly here. So I've also advised, if needed, just take a small lift, like don't go fully off the throttle unless you really have to, but I don't think you'd need to. But maybe go around like 60-70%, just to get this first bit of the car positioned, and then go full throttle, obviously, as you get more confident. Or you can also take a slightly lower line, maybe like in here as well, so that you're fully comfortable that you won't be hitting the wall. And obviously you'll be powering through this corner. You won't get a really good exit out of it because you get to the main straight, and yeah, you want to carry as much speed as possible. So yeah, I think this is it. Thank you for watching another track guide. I hope this can be useful to everyone. And for more track guides and other racing content, just make sure that you check out the Nighthawk Racing channel. I shall see you all very soon.